Welcome to podcast number 3 of Mind, Mood and Food with me, Margaret Bell, anti-diet empowerment coach and gut health expert, and Adele.
Hello, I am your friendly yoga teacher and creator of Find Your Inner Sparkle, 50 Ways to Help You to Look and Feel Better.
And today, this is a bit of a juicy one. We're going to talk about the tactics that supermarkets have and what they do to really make you buy things you never thought you might wanted to. So here goes. Don't know about you, Adele, but when I go into a supermarket these days, I just feel that there's so much kind of information thrown at you, and it's not really an experience anymore. It feels to me, and this has actually been proven, that it's actually a managed marketing zone. So the word supermarket really does actually feel quite exactly what it is. It's just a marketing ploy to get you to buy more stuff.
Absolutely, and it bloody works. Well, one of the things that I wanted to ask, or just talk about, is how is it possible, and does anybody ever go into the supermarket and just buy? Because we joke every time we get to the checkout, and we've joked this week because we've been buying stuff on the lead up to Christmas. I know this is going out a little bit later, but you've got like £150 worth in your trolley, and you go, we only came in for bread. We only came in for socks, whatever it is that you go in for. You're like, and I know that you can write a list, and I do find that helpful because you try and stick to your list,
but you still don't.
But they are really good at it, and the order maybe that they put things in, the journey that they take you on, and they're always moving things around as well, like that confuses you. And then I don't know, do they do that? This is just going to be really hard to fit into half an hour, Margaret. Do they do that because they just fancy a change, or have they got like some more information and algorithms that say, let's put bread at the back because everyone's buying bread, they're going to have to go past X, Y, and Z to get there?
Well, they've invested millions into figuring out how to make us buy more. So there's no kind of coincidence where stuff's being placed. They know that if they place that at a certain point, then this type of customer is going to go for it. And if they place a product in another kind of point, that kind of customer is going to buy it. But when you think of it, it even starts with the music as well. Because have you ever noticed when you go into a supermarket, the music's kind of nice and slow, and it's not exactly, I wouldn't call it rave music, because if it was, I think they'd have you going like 100 miles an hour through there. But it's a kind of like slow kind of music that you can just easy listening. And
you can kind of like amble around to and hopefully not feel too stressed.
And that's the ploy to start off with. They pump out that kind of music, so you're spending more time in there and buying more stuff.
And of course they have the little adverts on there. They have their own supermarket DJs these days, don't they? So they're like, and if you haven't remembered to check out the chocolate aisle today, we've got 2 for 1s on and if you're not even actively listening, like I wouldn't have even thought about the music unless you pointed it out, that you're not consciously listening to it. It's a bit like some Darren Brown voodoo magic, because he's proven this kind of stuff. I remember watching an episode of his where it was like, whoa, it's like magic. But actually, he'd planted little seeds all the way to the studio of these people. So he knew that they were going to notice an advert on the side of a bus and another one on the side of the road, and they had, like, he predicted exactly what they were going to do and say and think because of that marketing ploy. So it does work, all these subliminal messages you don't even realize you're
They
taking in.
are sneaky sods. They really are
Yeah.
really sneaky.
Well,
And when-
it's profitable, isn't it?
yeah. And when you mentioned there about the bread and what have you, the likes of the essentials like your bread, milk, and eggs, they guaranteed are only right at the back.
Mm,
So everyone has got the essentials. So imagine the amount of offers and everything you're going to have to walk through to get to
yeah.
the essentials.
And you just don't think about it, do you? Like when I think about my local Sainsbury's, it's like, yeah, the bread's in the back corner.
Mhm.
The eggs, even though I've been in there millions of times and know where they are, I still sometimes struggle to find them. They're so awkward because they're on the end of an aisle,
Yeah.
opposite like the cake, the bakery and all that area.
Mhm.
And then you go, oh, a vanilla slice. I'd one of them in weeks.
That's another ploy that they do. I mean, the supermarkets always do that, have this smell of fresh baking bread. I haven't noticed it as much these days, but the likes of the smells of the cakes and stuff, it's another thing, another kind of way to get you buy more stuff. But the likes of the essentials as well, they're normally a bit placed apart. So, you know, if you need bread, that's over there, the milk's over there. And yeah, it's all just a ploy to get you to go through that many different offers and what have you to put more in your basket.
Yeah. Yeah. And like we say, it definitely works because we could do some kind of challenge everybody listening this week. If you've written your list, you don't get one extra item that's not on your list. I just think it's not ever going to be possible.
No.
Because I know you go, oh, I forgot to put that on, and you get something else. But mostly it's just, oh, I fancy this, fancy a packet of cookies. Those little cookies the kids love in the, the little brown bags.
Oh God, yeah. And when it comes to the kids stuff as well, especially kids cereals, have you noticed that those ones are specifically at their eye level?
Yeah, all the naughty ones.
Yeah. Your likes of, I don't know, what are kids cereals these days? Golden Nuggets,
Cocoa Pops, the
Cocoa
chocolate
Pops.
ones, yeah. Yeah, Frosties.
They're all at their low level, and the considered adult cereals are at least a couple of foot up. So it's all
because then you get pester power. Can I have this? Can I have this?
Yeah, definitely. And if you're seeing that at eye level, it's been proven that we're 16% more likely to buy it, because if it's at eye level and we're actually seeing that brand, it actually makes us feel more brand loyalty towards it because we're actually seeing it there, which is, I just find mind blowing.
Yeah, it is, again, it's subconscious, isn't it? Because if you're seeing something front and center that's like Kellogg's or whatever, and then you've got like, it's always a bit lower down, their own brand stuff, isn't it? And it's a bit, you see it as less than. You've got to kind of lower yourself physically and rummage for it, kind of thing. But I was going to ask, do you think they really want us to buy certain foods over others, or certain brands or types? Because say if it's supermarket's own brand, then surely that's better for them. But is there not as much profit margin on it, maybe, as the obviously
companies actually pay thousands and millions to have the products at certain points in the supermarket.
Wow. So like the telly, you're gonna go advertising on the middle of well, not Strictly as BBC, but X Factor. Then you or Coronation Street, you pay much more, don't you? So same sort of thing.
Yeah. So the premium places, are where they've paid fortunes. So the likes, I mean, I don't think it happens so much these days with the chocolates and stuff at the till, but whatever's at the till has paid an absolute premium to be there.
God, yeah. And I'd never even thought about that, but definitely there's something weird goes on when you're at the till, because you just can't help looking, can you?
No.
It's like it's a bit addictive to buy stuff, isn't it? We like to kind of buy stuff like we're treating ourselves. So if you're at the till and you're a bit bored and you're queuing, then you're seeing all those extra little chocolates, or I mean, even magazines can sometimes be there, can't they? And you just think, oh, throw one of them in my basket.
Yeah.
I treat myself to a packet of chewing gum. You're like, what am I doing? Didn't even want this.
Well, there's little treat things. It kind of, and this is another thing that they do. Have you ever wondered why the fruit and veg is at the front? Because I know a load of people question it, saying, why is it at the front? Because surely it gets bruised and what have you at the front. But there's a specific reason why, and it's all about psychology as well.
So why is it? Tell me, Margaret. It is always at the front, isn't it?
Always. I've never seen any supermarket that doesn't have fruit and veg at the front.
Yeah.
And it's all to do with you're going to feel better in yourself for buying fruit and veg. And therefore later on, when you see the chocolate and the cookies, or whatever,
the cakes,
you're not going to feel as bad.
Because you've already put some strawberries and grapes in your basket. So you're like, yes, I've just come in for my essentials and now I'm going to find the milk, go past the cookies, the cakes and the chocolate, and they're all going to end up in my basket. Yeah. Do you ever go shopping with someone else when you go together and then you get to the till and you're like, how did that end up in there?
Oh God, yeah. That happens with my partner all the time. It's like, hang on. I didn't put that in. And when did that
put that in? And they were not on the list and we did not discuss putting that in. It's like, yeah, it'll be fine, it'll be fine.
3 packets of Millie cookies later, it's like, hang on.
Yeah.
They stuck in.
Yeah. And if we buy them, we're going to eat them.
Yeah, God. But yeah, it is. It's just all such a marketing place these days, supermarkets. So don't ever think when you go in that the supermarket is there for you. It is completely the opposite way around. You're there for the supermarket. So be a bit more aware, because even when it comes down to the likes of, we think that the bargains are at the end of the aisles. Not so much these days. We're conditioned to think that. So really have a look at the prices.
Well, we've stopped doing that, where when you go into the certain supermarkets, they've, especially sort of at certain times of year, so let's say this is probably going out in February, so let's say Valentine's, and your first aisle, then it's all red, it's full of roses and chocolates and prosecco and da-da-da. But then you feel like, oh, if this is gone, because this is the special aisle, once it's gone, it's gone. But we stopped doing that now. We're like, do you know what? If you wanted a bottle of prosecco, if you wait until you're on the alcohol aisle, they're going to be loads more there. Or go to the chocolate aisle, and you don't need to just buy this bottle and get these chocolates free or whatever, because that's the deal that's there just to entice you and kind of panic buy almost, because it's like, oh, once it's gone, it's gone. And it's all crammed into this little special aisle, but actually there's loads of all the rest of the stuff. And the flowers, you might be buying a little bouquet of crushed roses that are stuffed into this special aisle, but when you go to the flowers, maybe you don't want roses, maybe you just want a nice bouquet that's probably even cheaper, because they overprice things at certain times of year, don't they?
God, yeah. And that's another thing, when you look at special offers, really start looking at them, because quite a lot of the times the prices are actually put up a couple of weeks beforehand, before they put on special offer. So it's like, is it really that much of a special offer?
You're never really getting a good deal, are you? They're always the winners. We look at the other sneaky thing that they do is, like, if you get a bigger pack of tea bags or something, and then the smaller one is this much money for the smaller one, but if you look at per tea bag, say, or per gram, per 100 grams, whatever it is, they do have to put that on the label, but it's quite small. So if you look at that, and we teach the kids that if they're with us, that's an easy way that you can say, instead of like adding up on your fingers and toes going, oh my God, is this the deal or not? You can just say, actually, I think you're conditioned to think, if I buy in bulk, I'm getting it cheaper. But the amount of times where it would be cheaper to buy 2 of the smaller packets, because they've tricked you, and they've got this bigger pack slash price through it and put this different price, but it's still better to just buy 2 of the smaller ones. that's like shouldn't be allowed.
No, it shouldn't.
It's just like almost like fraudy, isn't it? You know, they're just so like tricky with that.
When you start really looking into it, God, it happens even these days before you get in the front door, because obviously there's advertisements and stuff outside that just have in your head that this is all to do with marketing. It's not really to do with food anymore. It's all about the marketing side of stuff, which in a way it's a bit sad, because really, obviously, you're going in there for food, not to be bombarded and persuaded into stuff that you possibly don't want.
Well, it's just another way that we kind of get manipulated, isn't it? That in everything we do, you know, like nowadays, obviously we've got a lot on social media that you don't realize how clever the marketing people are, or the information that they have about us is just frightening, isn't it? Because when we speak, it's all recorded, you know, the algorithms, everything's just being collected, and that data is just gold dust, isn't it? Now, obviously, a lot of us have points cards and club cards, so they can collect all this data. They know exactly what your buying habits are, and then they can, you know, work that out and tempt people with it.
And literally give you specific offers on the stuff that you may buy.
I have to just tell you this now because it's funny, but it's a little bit embarrassing. We got our Sainsbury's report, like little report for the year, because it's absolutely
report. Oh,
terrifying what we spend in there. But my daughter absolutely loved this. So she is a massive fan of cheese, an absolute huge fan of cheese. And it's a little bit lazy to not grate your own cheese, but the amount of cheese she has on things, it's been from when she was small. If she was a bit of a fussy eater, but she loves cheese. So if you put a bit of grated cheese on it, whatever it is, she'll eat it. She'll eat it. Put it on potatoes, put it on sprouts, put it on anything. Yeah, put it on pasta. She has it on sandwiches. So she likes cheese that much that we buy the big packets of grated cheese. Which, you know, you could stand there and just grate, couldn't you, and put it in a food packet. It's probably way cheaper, but that's one of my little guilty secrets, and we just buy it. You know, life's too short.
Yeah.
Anyway, on this report, we in where we live in the town called West Horton, last year we got the same report, and we came like 5th in the town for buying the most something. I think it was dips. You know, the nacho dips or something, we came like 5th, and I was like, oh god, that's really bad. It's not for anything. So I'd like to be a winner for buying strawberries or something healthy. Anyway, we've come number 1 in West Horton for buying grated cheese. And I'm like, that's because everyone else isn't stupid or lazy or both. so I showed
maybe
it to
it's
her.
just because they don't have cheese on the sprouts.
Oh my god, yeah, maybe it's because they don't have cheesy sprouts. But she loved it. You know what she said? Oh, I've never won anything like this before. She thought she'd like won something, and I was like, it's not good. It's really not good. It's nothing to be proud of. And now I've revealed it in the podcast. So I'm sure we'll get people commenting about that. But yeah, I mean,
oh my god, amazing. I love that.
Bad. It is bad. I'd just rather be the winner for something else.
And I think on that note, we might leave it there. On the cheesy sprout note.
On a cheesy sprout note, yes. Well, it's been extremely revealing and interesting to find out the sneaky supermarket tactics. I'm sure we could have talked for another hour on it, but let us know if you've got anything that you've noticed that we need to be aware of as well, and put it in the comments for us.
Absolutely. And don't forget to hit that subscription and the little bell so you're always notified when our next podcast comes up.
And we'll see you on the next podcast. Thank you very much, Margaret.
Thank you, Adele. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.